I can't be with here after all these things. Over. Over.
Mido came to America with the idea of building a future with Debby, but this fight showed that there are still a lot of things between them that have not been fixed. When two people are planning a serious life together, love cannot be the only thing keeping the relationship alive. Respect, patience, and communication have to be there too. What really stood out was how Mido handled himself after the argument. When someone gets upset, their reaction says a lot about how they deal with problems. Anyone can be loving when everything is perfect, but the real test comes when things are uncomfortable. Debby clearly did not expect things to reach this level. She wanted a relationship where both of them could understand each other, but instead she ended up dealing with a situation where she had to question what was actually happening. The moment Mido started talking about leaving and going back to Egypt, everything became more complicated. Because if someone says they are done and wants to walk away, then the next question becomes whether they really mean it or if they are reacting because they are upset. But then Mido saying he could not find a flight created even more confusion. At that point, it looked like he was caught between wanting to leave and still staying in the same situation. And that's where things became difficult for Debby, because now she had to figure out if Mido was staying because he truly wanted to fix things or because leaving was not convenient. A relationship cannot survive when there are doubts about why someone is there. Both people have to know they are choosing each other for the right reasons. Debby also has to look at the bigger picture. Sometimes when you care deeply about someone, it becomes easier to excuse certain things because you remember the good moments. But the difficult moments matter too. How someone treats you when they are frustrated is just as important as how they treat you when they are happy. Mido's behavior during the disagreement raised a lot of concerns because words can damage a relationship. Once something hurtful is said, apologizing does not automatically erase it. It takes accountability and real change. For Debby, this was not just about accepting an apology. It was about deciding if this is something that could happen again, because marriage is not going to remove problems that already exist. If two people struggle with communication before marriage, those same struggles usually follow them after marriage unless they actually work on them. The situation between Debby and Mido also shows one of the biggest challenges that happens on 90 Day Fiance. Two people can love each other, but once they are finally together in the same place, they start seeing sides of each other they never experienced before. Talking from a distance and living together are two very different things. When you are together every day, you see someone's habits, emotions, reactions, and how they handle pressure. For Mido, he has to understand that moving into a new chapter with Debby means he cannot handle problems like he is only thinking about himself. Relationships require teamwork. And for Debby, she also has to decide what she is willing to accept moving forward. Giving someone another chance is one thing, but ignoring warning signs is another. A second chance only works when the person understands what went wrong and actually tries to fix it.
What makes this whole situation even more shocking is that after everything that happened, Debby and Mido still seemed connected.
That shows how complicated relationships can be. Sometimes two people can have a lot of problems, but still have feelings for each other. The difficult part is understanding whether those feelings are enough. Because love without respect becomes exhausting. You cannot build a healthy future if every disagreement turns into a bigger fight. Mido needs to prove through actions that he is serious about Debby and their future. It cannot just be about saying the right things after everything calms down. Anybody can apologize when they realize they might lose something. The real question is whether they change when another problem happens. Debby also needs to protect herself emotionally because wanting a relationship to work should never mean accepting things that hurt you. The fact that their argument reached this point shows that there are deeper conversations they need to have. They need to talk about expectations, boundaries, and what they both want from this relationship. Because if one person is thinking about marriage and the other person is not fully ready emotionally, it will create even bigger problems later. Mido and Debby's journey on 90 Day Fiance is a reminder that getting someone to America or finally being together is not the finish line. That is actually when the real relationship starts. The cameras captured the happy moments, but they also captured the moments where everything became complicated. Now Debby has to decide if this fight was just a bad chapter in their story or a sign of something bigger. Mido also has to show whether he can step up and handle problems differently. Because at the end of the day, relationships are not proven during the easy moments. They are proven during moments exactly like this. This situation showed Debby and Mido that love alone cannot carry everything. Trust, communication, maturity, and respect are what decide if a relationship survives. The next chapter for Debby and Mido depends on whether they learn from this moment or continue repeating the same problems. Because sometimes staying together is not the hardest part. The hardest part is changing the things that almost broke the relationship in the first place.